If you're looking for the ultimate gaming mouse, look no further. This is the G Pro X Superlight from Logitech, and it's as close to perfection as I've seen from a gaming mouse ever. I've used it for well over a month now, and I feel like I can actually provide an opinion on it, what I like about it and what I don't quite like about it. I've used it in many different applications ranging from gaming to productivity, and I can conclude it's the best gaming mouse I've ever used. And coming in at £130 UK retail price, it is quite expensive, but there's a lot that goes into this mouse. A lot of R&D went into this mouse, and I can see why Logitech are charging this much. It's totally justified. Starting off with the shape of the mouse, it retains the same cylindrical shape as the regular G Pro wireless while shaving 17 grams. However, this does come at a cost, and that cost is the lack of RGB on this mouse. There is no RGB at all, which is kind of good because it prolongs that battery life. More on that later. And it also loses the buttons on the right hand side, so if you're a left-handed gamer, this might not be the mouse for you. The shape feels quite good in the hand, especially my hands. My hands are like, I don't know the size, I'm like sort of medium average. It would probably suit large hand people and people with smaller hands, so it's got pretty much everyone covered. And this is actually the only mouse I've ever used which I've just clicked with. This mouse, it didn't take me any time to sort of like learn it. I went from a Razer Viper Ultimate and I went to this one, and it took me no time at all to get the grasp of this mouse, and I was getting them headshots pretty much instantly. Not only the weight has been upgraded from the G Pro wireless, the skates on the bottom have as well. So they are using PTFE skates, which I believe is very similar to Teflon, which they use in stick-proof pans. But the whole of the bottom of the mouse is pretty much just glide pads. I'll show it on screen right now, and it just glides so well. Pair this with its really lightweight and its really slidey mouse pads. This mouse will pretty much slide over any surface with ease. Logitech retained the Hero 25K sensor for this mouse, and for good reason. If it's not broke, don't fix it. It goes from 100 DPI all the way up to 25,600, and it has a polling rate of up to 1000 Hz, which is adjustable. The battery on this mouse lasts for ages, up to 70 hours Logitech claim, and I can back this up. Thanks to the lack of RGB, there's no lights on this mouse apart from the little DPI sensor on the top of it, which isn't always on, and it turns itself off after about 5 minutes of not being used. To charge this mouse, you have two options. If you have a Logitech PowerPlay mouse mat, you can charge it wirelessly and you'll never need the cable. Or if you're like me and have the cable, you can charge through the micro USB cable, which is, I'll be honest, not the best cable I've ever used, but you hardly have to use it, and yeah, it's just a charging cable, I guess. I wish it was USB-C, but yeah, Logitech like to keep this weird keyed micro USB cable, and yeah, I don't know why they do that actually. The mouse has 5 buttons. These include the regular left and right click, the scroll wheel, which also acts as a button like it does on every other mouse, and you've got 2 buttons on the left hand side which are forward and backwards, but all of these can be programmed in Logitech's G-Hub software. And I've got some click samples here as well, which I'll play. For gaming, this has been my most favourite mouse of all time, and I've only used it for a month. I went from a Razer Viper Ultimate to this, and to be honest, I can't look back. Mainly because Logitech software actually works unlike Razer Synapse. You know, if you've been following me for any period of time on this channel, you'll know that I don't like Razer software. From what I can gather, it's most suitable for shooter games. Other games it will be fine in, like if you're playing like Minecraft or something like that, it'll be perfectly fine. I use it whenever I'm gaming, but if you're more into, let's say, MOBA sort of games, you might want a mouse that has a bit more buttons. Maybe something like the G502 or whatever that Razer one's called with all the buttons on the side. I think, is it the Naga Hex, I think it's called. I'll put it up on the screen. Anyways, you want something like that if you're playing MOBA games. Other than that, first person shooters, you cannot go wrong with the G Pro X Superlight. Productivity is unfortunately where this mouse is held back, but in all fairness, it's not designed for that. I'd much rather use my G502 than my G Pro X for productivity. That's anything from web browsing to video editing. I'd much rather use my G502, mainly because it's incredible scroll wheel. So essentially for productivity, it's no better than a regular mouse which you can buy for like a 10 or 15 quid. It's just a very high quality version. So yeah, like, I don't know why you'd buy this mouse for productivity, but if you were for some reason, I definitely do not recommend it. Like any other mouse that Logitech makes these days, it is fully supported within Logitech's G-Hub software. From within here, you can program sort of what DPI you want, what each of the buttons do, which I kind of do not recommend. And you can also check up on the battery level of the mouse. Pretty much that's all you can do in here. There's not as much you can do with something like the G502, which has a lot more buttons. But if you wanted to program some of the buttons for whatever reason, that is possible within G-Hub. So to conclude this video, the G Pro X Superlight is an incredible feat of engineering from Logitech. For first-person shooter games, I can't see a mouse being much better than this. It's got the whole package. It's got 1 millisecond wireless. You can also make it wired as well if you want to do that for whatever reason. It only weighs 63 grams, and it's just, the quality is incredible. There has been rumours of double clicking on these mice. I've never had that with a Logitech mouse, but I do know it can happen, so just keep your eye out for that. And if that does happen within your warranty period, just get it replaced. Other than that though, I can wholeheartedly recommend this mouse, and if you want to buy it, it's definitely worth that £130. So if you like this video, like it and stay subscribed for future content, and I'll catch you in the next one.